Now, in real life, when you write code and you work with other people who are going to be using your code. So after you've implemented a class and you wrote your methods, how do you give this class to other people so that they can use it? Well, one way is to give them your class file, okay, but that's going to give them only one file. But instead, what you can do is give them something called a jar file. And basically, a jar file is a zip file of all the classes that are generated from your project. So here, when I implemented my in my project, I have three files: my chapter10.java, my person.java, and my student.java. And I want to give someone all these this code. Basically, I don't want them to be able to change it, so I don't want to give them my Java file. I just want to give them the .class file so that they can run it. What I can do is I can go in NetBeans, go to Run, Set Project Configuration, Customize. So I'm going to do that. Run, Set Project Configuration, Customize, and then under the Build and then Packaging, and it says that on the slides, Build Packaging. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click this check box that says Compress Jar File. And a jar file, basically, what it's going to do, it's going to take the class files, kind of like zip them up and put them in a jar file. So a jar file is just like a zip file of all the class files. Okay, and then I'm going to build it, clean and build. And if I go to where my project is, so this is my chapter 10 project. If I go to the dist folder, I will find a chapter_10.jar file. So this is my jar file that got created. So I can go and give this to people who are working with me in the same team and tell them, here, this is my code that you can use to run my files, my code. Now, how do they use it? Well, what they can do is in their project, they want to import your jar file. So remember when we import, java.util.scanner, we are importing code that was written by someone else. We want to do the same thing. We want to import code that was written by a colleague for us, for example. So what we're going to do, again, we're going to go to Run, Set Project Configuration, Customize, and this time we're going to go to Libraries, and we're going to add the class path of the jar file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first create a new project so that we can test with it. I'm going to call it Chapter 10 Part 2. And inside this project, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another file called worker. So I'm going to try to create a file, worker, and I want this worker class to extend person. Okay, so I want to use the person class that was written by someone else, another colleague. What do? The first thing is I'm going to go to Run, Set Project Configuration, Customize. I'm going to go to Libraries, and I'm going to say Add the jar file folder. And I'm going to go to what I did here. I did this earlier, so I scrolled to where my project was, Chapter 10, the dist folder, and there's the jar file that we generated together. And I'm going to click OK and OK. And now it got imported. So the next thing I want to do is I want to add my file, the class that I want to actually use. So if I want to add a class, I have to choose the package name, and then the project name, or sorry, the file name. So here, what I want to do is I want to extend this person. Person is here. The package that it lives in is called chapter_10. Notice that the package name is lowercase and the project name is uppercase. So when you're doing your import, if you say import chapter_10 dot, you're not going to find anything. But if I make it lowercase, chapter_10 dot, I'm going to see the three files that were in that jar file. And I want to use person, so I'm going to do that. And so now I have a file that I have a class that's extending from another class in another package. Now, here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write public void nothing again. And I just want to see what can I access in person. So if I just say this dot, okay, what is it that I can access? You see here that I can access .name. Why can I access name? Let's go back to person and look at name. I can access name because name was protected. So I'm a child of person, and I don't live in the same project, but I can still access person. So any child will be able to access your protected data members, whether they live in the same project that you're in or a different project. So that's why worker can access name. Does it have access to the social security number? If you look here, there is no access to social security number. Why? Because social security number was private. So children cannot access private data members. Okay. So this was just another, like I just wanted to kind of clarify to you how the protected keyword works, like it was shown in the slides.